Hey, what's up? This is Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and Jeff Brazzo, Trent Fernandez Mercer from Diamond Thunder, and you are watching Team Venom.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of Team Venom's Power Ranger podcast. For this episode, we've got 5 co-hosts. So there's myself, Rory Bailey. There's Guy Jessup Braithwaite. How's it going, Guy?
Hey, good time, man. Good.
There's Callista Valentine. How's it going, Callie?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you very much, Helen.
There's Ben Robbins. How's it going, Ben?
Hello, everyone. I'm good, thank you.
And also there is Paul. How's it going, Paul?
What's up?
But most importantly, why there's 5, why we're all co-hosting, is we've got a very, very, very special guest on this episode, which is none other than Christopher Khayman Lee, who played Andros, the Red Space Ranger. Personally, one of my all-time favorite Rangers. So thank you very much for joining us. And how's it going, Chris?
Wow, you are really building me up to be. Wow, damn, that's something. And it takes 5 people to interview me. Oh my god! Wow.
He's really shy secretly.
To be fair, there's 6 of us that do the podcast, and it was one of those things where I was like, we would have gone for like 1 or 2 of us, but we were all big fans, and it was just like I can't begrudge anyone from jumping on.
Oh man, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, guys. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Well, I'll head over to. I'll defer to Paul for your first question. So, because I know he's chomping at the bit. So, Paul, away to you, man.
Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. You know, I'm kind of marking out right here, so don't mind me. And I apologize if I'm lagging. I'm driving. I got to pick up the kids from school. But anyhow,
No worries.
I have to ask, and I'm sure you probably get asked this all the time. What did it feel like to murder Zordon?
Wow, you weren't even gonna hold back on that, huh?
Oh,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you've seen like 1 or 2 interviews that I've done before, maybe, right? Because wow, yeah, you're not starting out. You're just going right for it, huh?
Hey, we
I
bring
like
out
that.
the big guns, man.
I can dig it. Yeah, that is one of 2 questions that I have probably been asked somewhere around 20 or 30,000 times. That's not an exaggeration. That and when am I going to do the hair again? The answer to that is never. And as far
I'm
as
digging the hawk, dude. I'm digging that.
thank you, I appreciate that, bro. As far as killing Zordon, I feel fantastic about it. I have no problems with having done it whatsoever. I'm quite happy with it. So there you go.
Well, we had David on here before, so I think he's going to beg to differ on that.
No, actually, he doesn't. I guarantee you, he doesn't. It's a funny
Really?
thing. Yeah, I've done conventions with Dave, and we've actually we've been on panels together, and people have asked exactly that. You know, I'm like sitting right next to him or something like that, and they're like, "Chris, what does it feel like to be, you killed Zordon?" And Dave will jump right in. Dave is like, he doesn't even let me finish. He's just like, or even get started. No, he just jumps right in. He's like, "Look, guys, here's the deal. You kill one guy and it saves everybody everywhere, or you don't and everybody dies. It's really a no-brainer. Just do it." and there it is. So yeah, that's the answer.
I had to do it. You know, I knew you
appreciate
were
it.
asked, a couple 100,000 times, but I
Oh, yeah.
had to do it. It wouldn't be me if I didn't.
I appreciate it.
Well,
Callie, I'm gonna shoot it over to. Are we shooting over to
before
Callie?
you do, our Sith guy Dennis couldn't make it earlier, but he's actually just jumped in the waiting room, so he's shuffled some things around. So I'm just going to quickly admit him. Sorry.
Okay.
All 6 of us?
Oh my gosh.
There he is.
Hey,
So, Dennis, you've just joined us mid-recording. Obviously,
Oh, I'm
Christopher's
sorry.
here.
Sorry about that, guys.
For everyone viewing, here's Sixth Ranger for the night. It's Dennis, Oliver Thorburn. Dennis, you can ask Christopher whatever questions you got prepared, dude. Also, Paul's just asked him what it was like to kill Zordon, so don't ask that.
We've been over that.
Okay. Cool. God, I mean, I guess the one main question I have, kind of a two-part question, I guess. What was it, like to kind of come on board with something that already kind of, iconic in itself, and still to make it like your own character while still paying homage to the original, I guess. I don't know. Does that question make sense?
I'll try to come up with an answer to that definitely makes sense. Way back when we were doing Power Rangers in the Saban era, you don't get to bring anything to the character. You do what they tell you to do, or you don't work anymore, and that's the way it is. Me personally, so like the other 5, they'd already been together. The other 4, I guess. Blake was with them at the end, but Cell, Raj, Tracy, and Patty, they'd all worked in Turbo. So when they brought me in, it was a, everybody always says it's a unique thing when they brought me in. In this case, it kind of was. I've worked on plenty of sets before. I've never had anything like this happen. When I came in, the one of the executive producers pulled me aside and he said, "So before really get in there and start filming and get to know all the guys and all that, we want you to do one thing." And I was like, "Yeah, do it. Tell me, what is it?" And he's like, "We don't want you to actually hang out with them or get to know them." And I was like, "Qua? I've never heard of that before." He said, "Well, because your character isn't supposed to really like them or get along with them or anything. So we don't want you to really have a lot of interaction with them. We want it to be more like, for you to be more like the way the character would be responding to them. So you, the actor, dealing with them the way that the character would be dealing with their characters." And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm a baby. I'm like 20 years old. Of course I'm going to say, "Okay, boss, whatever you say." But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I could just pretend I don't like them. That's kind of what acting is. I don't have to actually avoid them. I could pretend not to like them. So for the longest time, longest time, they all thought I was just the biggest asshole in the world because I wouldn't have anything to do with them. And that's because Jonathan, one of our executive producers, specifically told me, "Don't have anything to do with them." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, they thought that I was like, I was avoiding them. I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to hang out with them. That was not the case. It was just, do
did
this.
They realize
or...
it was just very method of you?
They didn't realize that. No, they all thought that no, he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So screw him. We'll just go do our own thing, and then he can do his whole thing. And it's like, I moved from one side of the country to live out here. I don't know anybody out here, and it's like, well, I'm totally alone now. I have nobody to hang out with or do anything with, like when we're not filming or anything like that. So for at least the first couple of months or so, it was kind of lonely, to be honest.
That's crazy. I would never expected that though.
Yeah, not a lot of people did. I had to actually explain it to Roger, like I think a couple of years ago. I was like, "No, dude, I wasn't like ghosting you guys or anything like that." It's like they literally told me, and when I told him, it was like, "This came from Jonathan." He's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, if he tells you to do that, then yeah, jump how high, sir." So yeah.
When you expect to be part of a team, though, I mean, figure, okay, camaraderie from the very beginning, right? Not, no, we don't want you talking to anybody here. Stay away from them.
I did what I could to get to know the crew because they were not going to let me do whatever to hang out with the cast. So I was just like, okay, I have to work with these guys. On average, it was 14 hours a day, but sometimes it was like up to 16 hours a day. And it's like, yeah, I got to hang out with them and all that. And I just literally don't talk to them, just look forward and ignore everything. And it's like, wow, this kind of sucks. So thanks. It didn't stay like that.
It's still cool though.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh, Callie?
Yeah, hi. Slightly fangirling over here a little bit, but it's okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Watching the history of Power Rangers, and I got to the in space episode, so I was like, oh, perfect timing. So, kind of springboarding off what Paul was saying about what was it like to kill Zordon. Obviously, I'm not going to ask that, but I mean, when did you find out, sort of in the shooting schedule, that was going to happen, and what was your mental state kind of going into that? Like, what was your thought process of how you were going to play it?
I remember them telling us very early on in filming that they told the 5 of us, because Justin wasn't even on the series yet, Nemo. I remember them telling the 5 of us that this is going to be the last season of Power Rangers. So we are going to end the whole thing after this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't care. Do whatever you got to do, man. I was not a huge Power Rangers fan to begin with. In fact, I did not want to have anything to do with Power Rangers before getting before getting the job. That's a whole nother story. But when they told us about that, that this is going to be the last season of Power Rangers, we were like, wow, okay, so what are we doing? And they kind of laid it out to us like, this is the overall story. These are the good guys. These are the bad guys. This is what they're all about. Here's what they're all about. And, I'm listening to this and I'm like, this is Star Wars. Oh, damn. I'm 100% in now. That's all I needed to hear. This is Star Wars. I don't care what we do now. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah. So I'm a big Star Wars nerd. I always have been. So I was happy with that.
Oh, sorry. So, looking back on in the last sort of 20 odd years since that was aired, what's kind of been the biggest sort of best reaction you've had from a fan in regards to seeing that?
In seeing what the
you destroying.
What's been the best reaction?
Yeah, like somebody I don't know.
I've had it where it kind of runs from it runs hot and cold. I've had people who have messaged me on Instagram telling me how much of a horrible piece of shit person I am because I killed Zordon, and that I ruined Power Rangers and they think I'm just the scum of the earth and all that. That's not so good.
No.
But then I've had other people who are like, dude, that was awesome when you killed him, man. I loved it.
Oh my
just
God.
like, great, it's good. I'm glad that you
Seriously?
liked it. Yeah, yeah. A lot of friends that I have are like, dude, I was so glad when you did that. That's awesome. Cool. So
God, I would have never
I don't know. I
expected
go,
that.
All right, on
I don't know,
Guy.
Okay, so moving along from the murder of interdimensional space wizards, how did you actually get the gig in the first place?
how did I get the gig?
Yeah, seeing as you didn't like Power Rangers, that's interesting.
Yeah, okay, so I had I lived for a long time as a kid in Virginia Beach, Virginia. When I was a kid, I always had very, very long hair, really long hair. and I had to keep it in a ponytail because when you have long hair, you have to keep it in a ponytail. Played football, basketball, baseball, whatever. You got to wear a ponytail because it's going to get in your face. So I did. Once Power Rangers, when
I got dread.
when that came out in '93, I was 15, and I didn't know anything about it, but like all the younger kids in the area knew about it, like 10 years old or so. They all knew about it. And I've got a ponytail and Tommy has a ponytail. So every one of those little bastards has to come up to me and say, "You've got your hair like Tommy. You must really like Tommy." I have no idea who the hell they're talking about. And like, well, yeah, what do you think about Tommy? He's the green one. And I'm like, I don't know who is Tommy? What do you mean? He's the Green Ranger. Oh my God, you must really love him. And at that point I hated Tommy. And I had no idea who the hell Tommy was. I did not want to have anything to do with Tommy. It took me a while to really understand what was going on with, like, oh, it's Power Rangers and he's one of the guys that kicks people and he's got a ponytail too. Wow. Okay. So that's the correlation, is just hair. That's it. So then you fast forward a few years, like, I don't know, 3-4 years. I had moved down to Miami. I'd only been living there for a little while. And I started modeling and acting. And my manager, she said, so I got an audition for you. It's at such and such a place. And I was like, fantastic. What am I going out for? And she was like, Power Rangers. And I said, no, I ain't doing that. No, nah.
Oh my God.
And yeah, she was like, why? And I told her the whole thing about Tommy and all that. She's like, well, look, they're doing a nationwide search. They're hitting every major city in the country. Go out for it. Honestly, the odds are not good that you get it because they're seeing so many hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, she said hundreds of thousands. I don't know if it was that many, but she's telling me it's so many people. You're probably not going to get it. So I go in there for it, and I honestly, I did not want to get out of there. Like, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Yeah. I just wanted to get the hell out of there. I was like, I don't want to be here. You guys are wasting your time and my time. I don't want to have anything to do with this. This is nonsense. And the guy that I was actually auditioning for was Shuki Levy, who was Chaim Saban's number 2 guy. I never met Chaim Saban, but Shuki was the guy that was there. And he was like, so could you read this scene for us? And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I read it, and he was like, so can you do any martial arts? And I was like, yeah, whatever, man, I could do it. And I was like, I do some kicks and all this stuff. And I was like, cool, can I go now? And they're just like, okay. And I leave. And from what I understand, they're like, that's the guy. That's exactly the asshole. He's the exact asshole that we want for this character.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was what it was. And
backfire.
Exactly, it totally backfired. And it's a funny thing because another Power Ranger actor that I know, a very good friend of mine, Brennan Mejia, he has a kind of similar story. He went out to read for a character, I don't remember which. It was like 2 seasons before the one that he got, and he read for a character, and they're like, sorry, no, you're not right for it. And then the next season he came in again and he read for a different character, and they're like, no, sorry. So then the third time he's reading for the red character, and he's like, at this point he was like, screw it, I don't even care anymore. They're not going to want me. So he went in there with kind of that same attitude, like, God, screw you guys, whatever, let's just get this over with. They wanted him. Right there. So he and I have done a lot of panels before where we have actually told people, it's like, it's a funny thing. You wouldn't think it's true, but when you audition for something, the less interested you seem to be in it, the more interested they are in you.
Oh, cool.
It's ridiculous.
Brilliant. Ben?
Hi, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. My first question for you is a 2-part question. I just wanted to find out what was your favorite prop to use on set?
Oh boy, man, that's a great question. Geez, I don't know. I didn't get to handle the spiral saber that much. The actors, we don't ever wear the suits with the when the helmets are on. That's never us. So I didn't really ever get to handle the saber, which kind of sucks because I liked it. I thought it was really cool. It's a drill sword. I'm like, that's awesome. But I got to play around with the pistol a bit.
Nice.
The blaster. So I was like, yeah, this is pretty Star Wars. It's pretty Han Solo. I could dig it. That's cool. So I like that. That, and then I think the not the regular morpher that we got with the 335, but the other one that I got where I had the battleizer suit and I transform into like roided out, Hulk androids with wings and stuff. I like the look of that one. I like the look of the that little morpher. I thought that was really cool. So.
Yeah, my part two to the question. What was your favorite wardrobe to wear as well? Was there any in particular clothing that you got put in, or costumes that you really love to work in?
Anytime that we got to wear like normal human street clothes, that was fantastic. We were constantly in the flight suits, and the flight suits were so the how the suit worked. It was the gray or the silvery jeans, the silvery pants, the silvery jacket, and then under mine there was red, and then under Sal it was blue, and Tracy yellow, and so on and so forth. Well, that the red thing and all that was a unitard, and it went all the way from our neck to our wrists and all the way down to our ankles. It was one big piece, which I kind of felt like that's a bit much. So if any of us ever had to pee, it's like a 5-minute process because we need to take everything off and go run to the bathroom. But that in itself, that was just a bit annoying, not as bad as the boots. Boots were a major pain in the ass. The boots themselves, so the boots weighed, I'm going to say probably 5 or 6 pounds each. And it kind of weighs on you after a while. Yeah. And on top of that, we had to, like, most of the time when we're filming stuff, we're filming on the set of the Astro Megaship. The Astro Megaship's floors had zero grip, and the bottom of the soles of the boots had zero grip. So we constantly have to run, and every time we do, we are slamming into walls because you can't stop. It's like you're running, on ice. You just can't stop. And the crew would sometimes, they would give a shit about it, like, okay, stop screwing around, guys. And it's like, no, give us better boots, dude. These things, like, something with traction would be nice. And I thought, like, I had always, like, in the beginning of it, I thought I was kind of a whiny little baby about it. But I got to know the stuntmen really, really well. I worked out with the stuntmen constantly. And I came to find out that the stuntmen, they were all Japanese. They were from the live show in Japan. These guys were literally the top stuntmen in the world. They were Alpha Stunts. That was the name of their group. They were literally the best stunt group ever, better than Jackie Chan's guys. Awesome. They were complaining about the boots too. So I was like, okay, I don't feel like such a whiny little bitch now, because they're also saying these things are heavy and you can't stop. And I'm just like, thank you. Okay, as long as it's not just me. So yeah, wearing normal clothes was like, oh, today it's like a little bit of a present. Thank you.
Well, speaking of your wardrobe, and also touching on your fandom of Star Wars, I recently watched Bloodline of the Grid, which was your I don't want to call it a fan film because obviously you were in the main series, so it's sort of a follow-up to In Space. But your character Andros has a very sort of almost like a renegade Jedi sort of vibe going on there in terms of his skill set and the demeanor and the wardrobe and stuff. So was that what we're going with?
Wait do you see episode 2? he ain't no Jedi.
Nice.
He ain't no Jedi. No. Andros is very much a Sith, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. That's a project that we've been trying to get off the ground for, God, I don't even know. I would say bare minimum 6-7 years, something like that. It happened because one of my very, very, very close friends, practically brother to me, Rando came up to me and he said, years ago, dude, what if we kind of did a storyline with Andros where it's now and not like, you want to pick out where Andros is, but don't have him be like the way he was 20 years ago. Have him be like now. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can dig that. And we started like spitballing ideas. And like the first thing is that like he's a big Star Wars fan. I'm a big Star Wars fan. We both realized, yes, this show is Star Wars. Power Rangers in Space is just Star Wars. We know that. So we're like, how are we gonna like steal or politely borrow as much of Star Wars as we can without actually saying Star Wars? And I'm like, well, he's got the Force to begin with. He has telekinesis, and there's hints that possibly telepathy there. He's pretty much got the Force, and he's wearing red. I mean, let's just try to build off of him being more of a Sith than, being a Jedi. And he's like, yeah, no, that makes sense. And he just came up with concept art, and we started rolling with that, trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do next, or what is the main idea of it? And the main idea of it really falls down to it's a confrontation between Andros and Zane some 20 years after the TV series, both being, both still having superpowers and all that. At the end of Power Rangers in Space, like everybody lost their superpowers and all that. But Andros and Zane still have their superpowers. They always had the Force to begin with, because they're from KO-35, and apparently everybody does. That's kind of what was mentioned in the series. They said something like, everybody learns how to do this and on the planet when they're young and all that. So I was like, oh, okay, so everybody is either a Jedi or a Sith on KO-35. That's kind of crazy. So they already do still kind of have superpowers, so we can kind of play with that. And then we wanted to kind of put them, we're taking it so where we can have them opposing each other, but they don't really, they love each other. They're always like been the best buds. They're practically brothers. But if they are definitely on, two sides of the coin, and it's like, no, you think this, and this, and I think this, and this, they're definitely gonna be like confronting each other. So it's really, where can we go with that and make it make sense, and keep it Star Warsy. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you, Paul. Over to you, man.
So, yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm having a brain fart right now. Kids coming out. So, going to your Star Wars fandom, I'm a Star Wars guy. My brother is a Star Trek guy, so we fight constantly. He's a dumbass. Okay. He's a dumbass. So But anywho, I have to get your thoughts, because I don't know if you're familiar with the the web series Viva La Dirt League. They have this little thing about episode 1, the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
What's your opinion on the Phantom Menace?
Oh, all of the prequel movies are garbage. That's just trash. It's trash.
Yes. Thank you. You're my hero.
Agreed.
Jason, I know you're going to be watching. Listen to this, dumbass. Listen to it. Listen. He knows what he's talking about.
That's right, I do.
Thank you.
Yes. All of the prequel movies are trash. I actually like The Force Awakens. They did a good job with that. Then the next two, I didn't even see the last one because what was the second one?
Last Jedi, wasn't it?
The Last Jedi. Yeah, that was the last movie for me. I was like, nah, I ain't doing it. You guys are just literally, you just took the whole series out behind the shed and you just put a bullet in its head. No, thank you. This is just garbage.
Yeah, they old yellered it.
Yeah, they did. They all yelled it, and that was painful to watch. I loved Rogue One.
Yes.
I thought it was a fantastic movie. It was a great movie. I liked the Han Solo movie. I didn't think it was the best, but I was like, no, I think it's good. I mean, there are certain things in it that I thought were, there were things where I was like, okay, that should not have happened. Giving him the name Solo because he's there by himself. I'm like, that's just, why would you do that? That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Just make it, it's a space show. Just make his last name is Solo. Just make it that. That's not too hard to imagine.
So I literally, we need to explain his name for some reason. Why?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that was terrible. But I mean, they never explained, Skywalker. What the hell kind of last name is that? That's ridiculous. So, but the prequels are they're trash.
Are you a fan of The Mandalorian?
I love The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is a great series. I thought they did a fantastic job with bringing in CGI Luke. That looked so good. That really looked good.
Oh, I fanboy squealed.
Yeah, I was very happy with that. I like the series a lot. I love that it doesn't focus so heavily on the magic of Star Wars, whereas it's more along the technology. Of course, we've got the magic because we got Baby Yoda there the whole time. And I will not call him Grogu because I hate that friggin' name. That's a stupid name. Baby Yoda is fine.
Oh, yeah.
But you got the magic there with him, but he does magic like, I don't know, like 5, maybe 10 times throughout the whole series, whereas it's all about this is guns and flamethrowers and jetpacks and stuff like that. So it's like, that's cool because we're not showing the magic. We're showing how this stuff all works. And, I don't know. I love the idea of that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much not watching that third sequel.
I've heard some pretty interesting things about it, and I was just like, oh, they brought back Palpatine. And once I heard that, I was like, nah, I don't ever. You just took my favorite and the greatest character from Star Wars, Sacrifice, and you flushed it down the toilet. So what was the point of having Darth Vader then?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
He did nothing.
That has just reminded me, because it was obviously the Rise of Skywalker. They did the same thing. You were saying about the Skywalker name needing more explanation than the Solo name. They literally have a scene. The very last scene of the film is Rey on Tatooine. She's just moved into like Luke's dead uncle's farm for no reason. And this old lady walks up to her and is like, "Oh, who are you?" She's like, "Oh, I'm Rey." She's like, "Rey who?" Like, Rey Skywalker. They explain her having that name, and
sure, why not? Why not?
It's terrible.
Yeah,
She is the
just take
Skywalker that
his
is
name
the
for
rise of,
shits and
allegedly. But yeah. Anyway, Dennis, man, over to you.
So you know what? I actually gotta head back in now, but
no.
Able to join you guys for a little while. Super cool to finally talking to a Power Ranger though. That was awesome as hell. I really appreciate you joining us, man. That was too cool.
Oh no, man! I appreciate it. I appreciate that, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Oh, that was definitely. Yeah, I wish we could stay longer, man. But I gotta head back in though.
Okay, Dennis. Well, we'll catch you later, man.
Oh hell yeah! I'll catch up with you guys later, man.
See you, Dennis.
All right. Take it easy, Dennis.
Hello, bro.
We'll throw it over to Callie then. Callie.
Oh, right, okay. Only question that I can really kind of come up with it in my head at the moment, sort of straight off the cuff, is do you have a favorite scene that you filmed during your run on Power Rangers in Space?
I do. I absolutely do. Yes, I absolutely do. Yes. The episode, it took me a while to find out what the name of the episode was because I could not remember it, but the episode is actually called Flashes of Dark Honda. And it was, I was on a set that was like an Old West set. It's the cantina from Mos Eisley.
Yes.
It's the cantina. So that's why I was like, I'm doing the cantina from Mos Eisley. Luke and Obi-Wan are in here somewhere, and I'm in here right now too. And there's 3PO and droids and all of them outside, and I'm here right now, and I love this. So yeah, that's how much of a Star Wars nerd I am, that I was equating everything over to that. So that's why I love that scene, because I was like, this is so cool. I just wish that they had the band in the back doing the do 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 do. I wish they were doing that, but we couldn't do that.
Being as you like Star Wars so much, I'm just going to show you off something that me and my daughter worked on together.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm too old for that shit.
Oh, look at that. That is one
There you
beauty
go.
of an X-Wing.
X-Wing, and it does actually
There you go.
pop the wings out.
Lock S foils in attack position.
Oh.
Yeah.
It took us a week to build the damn thing, but it was worth it.
I can dig it. I appreciate that.
I
Oh
just
yeah.
showed that off. As soon as you said Star Wars, I was like, I'm going to show him. I'm going to show him the shit. I
can
even
dig it.
have a vintage 1980s snow speeder as a gift for a friend.
Oh, get out of town. Nice.
Yes.
I used to have that. I used to have that. Oh my God. Yeah, that was great.
Here it is, 2 seconds. Here we go. I love when I get to show off my collectibles. There we go.
Oh, look at it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
an original Wumpa.
You got the original Hoth Wampa. I had that too. Oh my God.
The original 1983, I think it says on the back.
I love the Hoth
81,
Wampa.
1981. So yeah, that's
Oh,
a
I
present.
love it.
That's a Christmas present for a friend.
Oh my God.
Well, you let the
Send
cat
that to
out of
me.
the bag now.
Is that friend me?
I'll take it. I got Star Wars stuff all over here, everywhere. If you guys don't mind, I can show you
see
something that I
Yoda.
do have that's cool. What's that?
I could see your Yoda on the shelf for a second then.
Where? I don't know. I have a
You
Yoda. So,
left.
oh yeah.
There he
Yeah,
is.
I do have it's a mug. Yeah, we got a Yoda mug. But I can show you guys something really cool if you give me 1 second.
Yeah, 100%.
It's something that I have that was given to me. Oh God, I don't even remember how many years ago. We're talking probably a decade and a half ago, at least. I don't know. So here, let me. God, here we go. It is a replica, but it makes me happy. This is Vader's
saber.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. It comes in this beautiful box here.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that's a hell of a gift.
Yeah. That I love that. It is phenomenal. I get that.
Where did that come from? I want one.
That is Master Replicas. I know it has I have like a card that had like the number of what it was like a series. It was like number 1401 out of like 1800 of them or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, I got like a little wall of Darth Vader-y stuff because Vader is my hero.
Vader's the king.
Vader is the king, yes. I have so much more Darth Vader stuff, but like I have limited room for where I can put everything right now. And my girlfriend is absolutely in love with Eric Draven, so she's got the crow everywhere.
Oh wow!
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Yeah,
That's my second favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, my girlfriend she's a huge Brandon Lee fan. She loved the movie. We have to watch it every year at Christmas, Halloween. So yeah. So we've already watched
we'll
that.
ignore the sequels to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were not great. They were not phenomenal. Although City of Angels did have Twee in it, which that's something.
City of Angels had potential, but they blew it. The ending just sucked.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I saw one where there was Edward Furlong starring as the Crow, and I was just
Oh
like,
yeah, I forgot that.
I'm
Yeah.
not even bothering
Yeah.
with it.
We were recently supposed to do
Yeah.
one with Jason Momoa as well, but that sort of fell through, hasn't it?
He's
Yeah.
too big.
He's too
But-
big. Yeah.
There was all
Is he too
photos
big,
and stuff of him crowed up and stuff that came out online where he'd had the makeup, but it was just, it didn't look right. So,
No. Yeah. He's he looks like a gorilla. That's just too much.
Hey, hey guys, I hate to
Stop on
cut you off.
steroids.
I gotta go,
okay.
but Chris, it was great talking to you. Unfortunately,
man.
I gotta go back to work. So,
No worries, bro.
thank you for coming
take
on.
it easy, man.
And you too. Come back anytime.
I'd be
See
happy
you
to.
guys.
We can say the same thing to you, Paul. We'll see
Yeah.
you later.
See you in a bit, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, man, we're all. I could talk about Star Wars for days. I just randomly did a stretch of Vader helmets and
beautiful.
Baby Yoda there in the
Oh yeah.
background next
Oh
to
yeah.
Megazord.
That's it.
And one of the
Yeah.
very first interviews I did for my YouTube channel, which is upsettingly, was at a Comic Con, and the audio just didn't pick up because of how crowded and noisy it was. And it was with Jeremy Bullock, who played Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So one of the very
OG.
first interviews that when I'm setting up the whole Team Venom Media thing was like such a legendary one, and I was all excited about it, and then couldn't use it. It was gutted. So,
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
yeah.
That is heartbreaking. That is
Some
so
stills
bad.
from it, so at least there's that.
There is proof.
Yeah, got a random image where he's got his arm around me, like, yeah. So,
I
so,
can
yeah.
dig it. I can totally dig it. Hey, speaking of Boba Fett, I will say this. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I am not a fan that they changed Boba Fett's voice with the New Zealand guy, because
Yeah.
Boba Fett in Empire and in Return of the Jedi, he had like 6 lines of dialogue altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he had a very cool voice.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
And I was totally fine if, okay, we're going to bring in this new guy as Django. Fine, he can have the voice, give him the New Zealand accent. That's cool. Go for it and all that. But then it's like, oh, but he's also his clone, so he's got to sound like him too. And it's like, now you have to change everything from what he was before. And it's like, that's
Another reason to hate the prequels.
that is a whole
Yeah.
nother reason to hate the prequels. Yeah.
Well, it's just Lucas and he's messing about with every little thing.
Yeah.
All I can
Absolutely.
say is midichlorians.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was
Oh,
the linchpin for me. Boy, that really pissed me off when I heard
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I was just I saw that in the theaters, and when they brought that up, I leaned over to my girlfriend at the time and I was like, "Can we leave now? I've had enough of this bullshit.
Yeah, I don't blame
This
you.
is not good."
It's when they
No.
start on about trade disputes as well. It's just sort of like,
yeah, it's like, boy,
don't
I remember
do politics.
I was sitting there saying, I remember when Star Wars was all about a family at war with each other and galactic unrest and all this stuff, and now we're talking about trade routes and
Yeah.
what is this nonsense? What is this shit? I don't care about this. Shoot somebody.
yeah.
Dear. Well, because we've had a major tangent, so guys, see if you can bring us back on track.
Yes. Okay. So, okay, hypothetical question for you. If the Saban people or Hasbro, as it is now, call you up and go, come on back, reunion, yes or no?
I have stipulations for it. Not too many, but basically,
Yeah.
I guess there's 2. One is, boy, you guys better be paying, because boy, way back when, they really did not like to pay you that much. So yeah, we're gonna want some money for that. But 2 is that I do not think, I don't believe in, as far as the character of Andros goes, as looking back. I feel more like looking forward. So if I do anything as Andros, it's Andros that I'm doing as Bloodline Andros. I'm not going back to oh well, he's now he's happy, nice and sweet, and he's got this silver jacket on, and he's got this stupid hair and all that. I'm not doing that. No. You want me back? He's got the eyepiece, he's in all black, he's got a mohawk, and he chokes people. So that's what he does.
Badass. That's what I like.
I'd like to see that.
That's actually an idea that we've been working with that for a while now. We don't have anything written down as far as how we're going to do it yet, but we know how we would do it. But we do want to actually film a scene between Andros and Zane, which is basically just a force fight. I've been telling him, like, that was the thing that we didn't really have in Power Rangers in Space was, he uses it like 3 times. Maybe Zane uses it like maybe once, and nobody uses it in a fight. And I've told everybody, if you're in a fist fight and you're going up against somebody who has telekinesis, you lose. Yeah. There is no winning. You cannot beat that because you can't touch them. So I actually, my girlfriend Allie had said, we got to do a scene where you're fighting Nemo, and you're going to do a force choke and just lift him off the ground, and, just choking the hell out of him. And then, he's going to use the force and hit you in the head with something from the side so he can get out of it. And I was like, yeah, we can totally do that too. So that's what we want to do.
Sounds good. Sounds very good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
So, I've got a quick question. I just want to find out. So, what was an average day like on set for you filming, and your schedule like?
On Power Rangers in Space?
Yeah, on Power Rangers Space.
The average day, was usually 12 hours, but it was in between 12 and 14 hours. Since I moved from Miami to California, they kind of moved me close to where the set was, to where the production thing was. So I lived in Canyon Country at the time, and it was like 10 minutes away from where we would film, unless we were filming on location or whatever. It was a lot of hurry up and wait. That's, when you ever work on a movie set or a TV show or whatever, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And I would work out afterwards with the stuntmen for several hours. They would beat the shit out of me constantly. And that was the biggest compliment that I ever got from them, was that they would never hold back on me. They were like, this guy is actually doing good. He's hanging in there with us. So yeah, we don't really need to pull too many punches. So they would beat me senseless. And then on Friday nights, after all of that stuff, we would all get together. We only filmed Monday through Friday. We never really filmed on Saturday and Sunday, which I was kind of surprised with that. But on Friday night, we would all go out. We would drive all the way down to downtown LA, which was, from where I lived, it was like bare minimum. You're talking 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so. And we would go to a bar. It would be, I remember the name of the bar is called Mecca Bar. It was a Nodebon bar, which is essentially Korean version of karaoke. So we would all get our own room. Everybody goes in there, and we would just get drunk as hell and just sing for like 6 hours.
Nice.
And
wicked.
Yeah, so I would do that, and I have like 4 or 5 of the stuntmen with me. And the thing that was phenomenal and simultaneously pissed me off so much was that not only were they fantastic as stuntmen, fighters, and all that, they were all beautiful singers. And I was just like, screw you all so much. I have literally nothing on any of you. You bastards are so good at everything.
I was gonna say, just being around like all the stuntmen and that, did you get to work around a lot of pyro as well then on set?
Oh God, yeah, man. There was, oh boy, yeah, that can be kind of scary. There was a number of scenes. I remember there was a scene where we did one where Tracy got really close to Pyro, and I think she almost like ran basically face first into a fireball. Thankfully she didn't. We don't want that happening. But it was really close. Pyro is dangerous as hell. And the thing is that like the size of the explosions that we would do on the show, like you're 60 feet away and you still are feeling all of the heat.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's really scary.
Wow. Lawsuit Power Rangers.
Well, for saying that, like, you weren't that interested in getting the part to begin with until, you know, the Star Wars connection and such. I think it's wonderful to see that you've become like one of the most endearing characters. Like, so most of the fans know exactly who you are, whether it's because of the distinctive hair or because of the leadership from In Space, or In Space being like the darkest season that they did. What with character deaths and Psycho Rangers and stuff. Yeah.
Or I'm the guy that killed Zordon.
Yeah, and there's that too.
It's the hair or Zordon.
But like, there's I love the fact that you've ended up like really embracing this to the point where you've got your Bloodline series, where you've gone back to the character because you love the character, and that's awesome for me. And watching Bloodline, I saw I was pleasantly surprised to see that you had Patrick David come back in as the Red Psycho Ranger. So how did that all come about as well? Is he someone that you've kept in contact with, or?
I actually, when we filmed Rangers, I never met him.
Okay.
Yeah, he said to me that he was on set for maybe a day, maybe two, and he said that he saw me when we were at lunch, and he was like, "Oh, that's the red guy," but he never came up and talked to me because I had no idea who he was. So I didn't meet him until years later at a convention. And I don't even remember who it was that introduced me to him, but they're like, "Oh, this is Patrick," and I'm like, "Okay, who's that?" And they're like, "Oh, he's Psycho Red." And I was like, "Oh," and I didn't even realize that not only was he the guy that was like on screen, but he was, of course, the voice too. I didn't know because it sounded so different because, you know, they put a filter on him. When he's got when he has the helmet on, he has the filter on his voice, so he sounds very robot-y. And I was like, "Really? You did that too?" And like, yeah, that was me. So we hit it off really well. Patrick and I do like cons and comic shops a lot together, and it's because of the two things. It's because of Rangers in Space, and then it's because of Bloodline and the Grid. We're focusing on making him a main part of it. Like we have two opposing sides, quote unquote. My side and then Zane's side, and my side really is me and Patrick, and then DJ, who plays TK, and then Zane, and then Sam and Nova. So that's Colin and Jordan, and of course Nemo. So
nice. Well, I know you just mentioned like doing the convention circuits and such with them. Are there any this year that you've got coming up, or next year, or anything like
that? At the end of this year, I am going to be doing Anime Pasadena. That is going to be December 11 and 12. That is in, of course, Pasadena. And we're going to be doing it's like it came together through Nerdbot to begin with, because Nerdbot is the company that DJ originally introduced me to, and we started working together and doing Bloodline stuff. And they do a number of other series. You know, they do Colin stuff. Colin does Shattered Past, and Colin's actually in like all of them. He's the Shattered Past, the Rise of the Ninja, the First Ninja, and whatever the hell else. There's like 50 of them now. Colin's in everything. So we're doing that with them, and then that was connected to Crimson Vision and Ranger Legacy, and now, or well, not now, but rather fairly recently, Scott Zillner, who does Power Morphicon, he's like hooked up with it too. So he's going to be promoting it and all that stuff too. So it's a pretty big thing. We weren't expecting it to get as big as it's getting. So yeah, that's it for me for like cons for the rest of this year. But I'm already getting stuff set up for next year. Like Ranger Stop and Pop. And, we will be doing Power Morphicon next year. I believe that's in September, so that's a ways away. But that one's gonna be huge. There's gonna be like 700,000 Power Ranger actors there. Every friggin' person that's ever been on it, you know, all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it. I'm focusing on writing down more stuff, getting more stuff written out for Bloodline, because that's what I want to focus on. That's what I want to have more of it done for when we do more cons and stuff, because you know we want to like be able to put it up on a screen and like show people while we're doing it, or while we're at the con. So that's our thought process.
Fair enough. Callie?
I can't really think of anything right now. Always catching me when I get lost in what you guys are doing. I'm just sat here watching along, and then it's like, Callie, shit, yeah, I'm part of this, aren't I? Think about the only really question that pops up at the moment would be, honestly, do you have a favorite line that you had to deliver on Power Rangers? Like, what was one line that you said that you were like, shit, yeah, I did that. I knocked that out the fucking park.
You know what? I will say there's a couple of lines that I absolutely love from Power Rangers, and I never said them. Because they were just so funny to me. One of my favorite lines, Roger said, we were doing, I don't remember what the name of the episode was or whatever, but we're fighting a monster, and the monster's like sending out bugs or something to eat our weapons up, like the saber, and Selwyn has the axe, and Roger has a lance. And I wish Roger was here right now, because he would already know where I'm going with this, because he hates that I bring this up, but it's so goddamn funny to me. This thing eats his lance, and he goes, "My lunar lance is lunch," and it was just like, dude, tone it down, man. Come on, homie. Tone it down, bro. It was so over the top with what he was going for. I love it, so I always give a shit about that. My lunar lance is lunch. And that, and then I love the fact that there was an episode that we did where Selwyn was actually saying something to Patty, and I was on set, but I wasn't in the scene, but I was just hanging around on set because I was like off camera, and I was just sitting there waiting around. Oh, I'm in the next one or whatever. And I hadn't really looked at the scene because I wasn't in it. So it's like, I don't need to read the lines or anything like that. But I'm just sitting there looking over at it, and I'm watching Selwyn and Patty, and he says, well, we got to do something. I know, we got to go down to the Dagobah system. And I was like, wait, what? What did he just say? And I looked through the script, and I was like, oh shit, they spelled that just the way it's spelled, that Lucas spelled it too. It's like Dagoba. And I was like, we are gonna get so sued. That's freaking hilarious. Oh my god. We never did. I was surprised about that. Nothing ever came of that. I was like, wow, we said Dagobah and we can do that. Those two lines stuck out to me the most.
That's awesome.
Best be careful. We might start giving Disney ideas about the next crossover.
I know. Yeah. They don't need any more ideas. They don't need any more ideas.
Power Rangers versus Star Wars. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Filoni and Favreau could probably manage that. Do something with it.
As long as there's a fist fight between Bulk and Skull and C-3PO and R2-D2, I'll be quids in.
That sounds great.
Can we have that happen on like episode 7 of Bloodline or something?
I can tell you all right now that I think personally that Paulie and Narvi would both be so down and happy for that. They would think that's fantastic.
Yeah, you need them in Bloodline. Even if it's just
that would be good. That would be good.
Right, over to you, Guy.
Damn. Okay. So I was reading a thing, sort of looking into you and stuff, as you do, actual research and shit.
Totally not stalking you.
But this great thing came up, and it's like, yeah, they couldn't have they wouldn't make them, wouldn't let them have props because of Jason David Frank nicking everything.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
did you actually manage to get it?
No, I didn't. No. Yeah, that was like day one. They pulled me aside. They said, okay, so just to let you know, when we every day when we wrap, we're gonna have to, after you get dressed out and all that stuff, we have to go in there and we have a checklist and we're gonna go through every single thing that you were wearing in the scene or whatever. And I was like, okay, why? And they're like, well, Jason Frank. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And they're like, well, he stole everything on the set. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah, if it wasn't nailed down, he was walking away with it. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then fast forward a couple of years, we did Forever Red, and I met him, and I was actually hanging out with him. This was the first time I had ever met him. It was the first time I was meeting most of those guys. I knew Sel, and I knew Sean, but Sean Johnson, but I didn't really know anybody else. Slavin wasn't actually even on the set too. I think he had to like film all his stuff separately, but yeah, I didn't know anybody else. So I'm hanging out with Jason Frank. And then when we wrapped, he said, yeah, dude, hey, why don't you come over to my place sometime? And we set it up where I came over to his house. Like it was either the first Tyson Holyfield fight or it was the rematch, something like that. And when we got there, he was like, when I got over there, he was like, yeah, dude, let me just show you around. And he has a friggin' shrine to himself in his place. Or he did. This is when he still lived in California. But he had a shrine to himself. And it was like, there was mannequins with the full suits on. Like he had everything. He had like a helmet. He had the suit. He had the morphers. He had the boots, the gloves, the belt. He had everything.
Jesus.
Nice.
I mean, he walked away with somehow walked away with probably thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of shit that they just what are they gonna do? It's Jason Frank.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Frank.
I always said hey, more power to him. He thought about doing that, so good for him.
I've just got this image in my head now of him. The only way I can think he would have stolen the suit is to literally just walk off set and go home in it. So now I've just got this image of him in the full Green Ranger suit driving down the highway.
And one of those like over trench coat things that Raphael used to wear to pretend that he wasn't a turtle.
Right?
Helmet and everything and the little hat on top.
Yeah.
I can't see shit.
Which reminds me, you had the crossover with the turtles. How was that?
God.
But it was the worst turtles.
That's the thing is that, wow, I was kind of hoping that we could get to this whole thing without ever bringing up the Ninja Turtle crossover. Oh my God. Okay, here's the deal. As I already told you guys, I grew up and I hated Power Rangers. I actually loved Ninja Turtles. I absolutely loved Ninja Turtles as a kid. Raphael is my guy. He's always been my guy. I love the 80s cartoon, and then 1990 when the movie came out, I was like, I lost my mind. I was like flipping out over it. It's like, this is the greatest movie ever. Oh my God. And then they did the second one and I was like, this is not as good at all, but it's okay. But I still love the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles that we got were, wow, they were bad.
Worst versions.
Those suits look terrible. That was from the Next Mutation TV series, and that was because Saban owned both our series and that series, and we were only, I think that was like the third or fourth episode in to Rangers in Space, but it started with such a huge following. Like people were loving it just from the first episode. They were going crazy over it. Like, oh my God, did you see Power Rangers? Yeah, now it's actually good again. They were like losing their minds. And by the third or fourth episode, that's when they did the turtle crossover. And the whole point of it was that the turtle series was doing garbage in the ratings. And the idea was, well, we put it on Power Rangers and that'll boost the ratings. That'll get everybody to like it. No, that won't. That is not going to help. Who the hell is Venus de Milo the turtle? Come on, shut up. There's no girl turtle. That never happened. I always thought, like, okay, there's 5 of us, there's 5 of them. You've got the 4 turtles. Just bring Splinter in. Why not do that?
Yeah.
What the hell is the other turtle for? We don't need that.
Casey Jones.
Or Casey Jones. Exactly. Yes. And that's easy. Dude in a hockey mask. You're done. That's easy.
You literally just need any guy with grease back hair, and that's it. Sorted.
There you go. Yeah.
Over to you, Ben, because I've just realised you haven't said anything for ages.
No, that's fine. So, yeah, I just want to find out, obviously, who was your favourite bad guy to fight as a Power Ranger when you were filming? Was there one that really stood up? You thought, yeah, I'd love kicking their ass.
There's only one bad guy ever. There's only one that matters. There's only one that ever will matter, and that's Ecliptor. Ecliptor is the best bad guy ever. Ecliptor is my Darth Vader.
Yeah,
nice.
I agree with you on that one.
He is the best bad guy. Go on.
I was going to say, what was it about Ecliptor that you love so much?
Ecliptor could beat everybody easily. He could just wipe the floor with everybody, and he was so. His whole thing was that he was very much written to be like Darth Vader. Whether that was intentional or not, I can't say. But somebody who is so ridiculously, stupidly overpowered, but still has a very strong sense of honor, and could just, he could just kill all of us whenever he wanted to. I mean, we had an episode where, like, he's fighting me, but it's like me with the helmet head on, and like Ecliptor's head comes off his body and it's flying around. And I was thinking, I remember watching it and I was like, wait, he could do that now? He could take his head off and that shit can fly around. And then he's shooting lasers everywhere. And I'm like, and he could do that too? When the hell did it? What can he not do? And the answer is very little. He can do basically everything. So, yeah, it'll always be Ecliptor for me.
I will say I did like his kind of almost fatherly relationship with Astronomer.
Notice that, huh?
Yes, it was just so like
a little bit.
Okay, I like that. Was an interesting twist for the Power Rangers, especially because normally it's like, Zordon is the fatherly figure, and the bad guy's the bad guy. But this guy, you kind of seen different kind of shades depending on who he was around. Like if he was with her, he was this very almost caring kind of character.
Very, very, very paternal with her.
Yeah.
Very, very paternal with her.
But then he put him in a fight and, as you said, decimates everyone.
Yeah. But the funny thing also is that when you notice the fights that he has with particularly the Red Ranger, basically every fight he wins. And not only that, he just wins by like a massive stretch. He beats the hell out of him to the point where he could kill him at any point, and yet he doesn't. Why?
Because he is her brother. So he knows that by killing your character, it's hurting her. So some fatherly restraint maybe there, maybe.
Yeah, there could be.
Little fan theory going for you there.
Yeah.
Well, with you touching on the relationship there with all of that, for me, Power Rangers in Space really felt like the show was starting to grow up quite a bit, because obviously there was the over-the-top cheesiness in the first couple of seasons, and then they were getting more and more serious as time went by. And then when you got to In Space, it was like the producers suddenly realized, oh, all the kids watching 4 years ago are now going to be in the teens, so we should do something a bit more dark. And the astronomer stuff that you guys were just talking about is a prime example of that. Did you feel that it was like a tonal shift in the series when you were on there, or was it just sort of like because of not being a fan going into it, was it just like a day at the office sort of thing?
To me, that's kind of what it was. I mean, it was a very happy day at the office because, I'm going in and I'm like, I'm filming Star Wars, so I don't care what the hell we're doing now. I'm doing Star Wars, so I'm happy. But I didn't watch any Power Rangers before that, so I didn't know I didn't know what the season before was like, and the Turbo season, when they switched it off, when they changed the cast and it's Cell and Tracy, Raj, Patty, and then Blake, the series was very silly. It had a lot of silly, goofy aspects to it. And I don't feel like that really went over well with a lot of fans. So I personally wasn't there to see what the big difference was between that and Power Rangers in space. But I did get recognized a bunch while I lived in Canyon Country, because I have to walk around with 4 bleached blonde stripes in my head all the time. So I did get noticed, and it was the funniest thing to me about that was that I was never ever recognized by kids who were like 6 to 10 years old. I was recognized by people that were my age, 18 or 19. And like, I remember like a number of times sitting in line, like at like a fast food place or whatever. And like, somebody would come up to me and like, they would say to me, "Oh my God, aren't you the guy that's in Power Rangers in Space?" And the first thing that's shooting in my mind is, "Oh my God, why are you still watching Power Rangers?" So, because I wasn't a fan as a kid, I don't know. But yeah, that's I don't know, that's silly.
Fair enough.
It's because the power protects us forever.
Well, yeah, Guy, do you want to go for the next one?
I'm out.
Oh.
Okay.
Fair enough. You just sit there and enjoy the roast, Ben.
I got another one. Yeah, I got one. I was going to say, if you could put together like your ultimate Power Ranger crew with you, who would your other 4 be from any Power Rangers seasons or show, any generation?
I gotcha. So ultimate crew for me is going to be Bloodline Andros, Darth Vader, the Predator, Jason X, and then possibly we could throw Nemo in there too for Zane, and that'll be good for me. I'd be very happy with that crew. I think that would be pretty devastating.
Oh no! But as soon as you said Predator, you had me at Predator.
There you go.
Yeah, so
There you go.
There you go.
Massive
Look,
Predator
how much of a
wonderful.
Predator fan I am.
Perfect. I love it.
So if they were going to fight 5 bad guys, who would the bad guys be they would go against?
Who the hell's going to fight Vader? Who's going to fight Vader?
True.
Who's going to be that dumb? They don't fight anybody. They walk in and they say, "No, look, we own this now. Shut up and leave." And you just do that. You don't say no to that.
Fett's got the balls to sass him.
What's that?
Fett's got the balls to sass him, so maybe.
Fett does have the balls to do that. Yes, he does. That's pretty. He could be the 6th Ranger. I don't mind.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Give him a gold shield.
Yeah, right.
No, I won't go with the green chest plate.
Well, we'll wrap this up. It's been absolutely awesome talking to you, Chris. Absolutely loved it every minute of it so far, and you'd be more than welcome to come and join us at any other point in the future. So as soon as you've got your next episode of Bloodline, please come back and tell us all about it.
We absolutely will. I will. Hopefully I can bring like DJ or Patrick along with me too.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Brilliant, yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much. It's been awesome. So.
Yeah. All right, man. No, it's been a lot of fun. I'm very happy with this.
Excellent, man. Thank you.